Alright guys, welcome back to some more Umineko. I gotta say, I found the last half of the previous vid to be incredibly surprising because we all knew something was gonna happen, we just didn't know it was gonna happen in that way. And we ended up losing 3 more people. And we managed to save Maria. Well, I mean, Battler managed to save Maria because he felt bad and he gave it to her as a charm. He wasn't expecting to actually protect her. But nonetheless, Maria's the only one that survived, and we lost 3 servants. So we're gonna continue on from there, guys. It's getting pretty. It's becoming a downer right now. We're losing a lot of people, so we're gonna continue on from there and see how it goes. So for anything else, thank you all for the love and support. And let's continue on. All right, everyone, we're back again, and this time we are worried about Aunt Natsuhi right now.
さっき手紙を読みながら一人で出て行ったよ。
Why would she do that? Letter. That makes sense. The culprit's done with the 8th Twilight and it's all gone swimmingly for them. They might as well have left the letter so they could brag even more. We've been so wrapped up in questioning Maria that we forgot to look for one. But even as well armed as she was, why had she left the room all by herself in this dangerous mansion after reading it? Jessica tried to chase after her and tugged at the handle to the door, but it resisted strangely and wouldn't open. Ah, was she magically induced to read the letter on her own?
母さん、お母さん、何これ。開けて。
It was only natural. Natsuhi had picked up the candlestick which Battler had thrown at the wall and which had fallen to the floor. She had then skillfully wedged it between the doorknobs and on the double doors like a bolt holding them closed. The intricate design of the candlestick meant it jammed well and formed a truly sturdy seal on the door. The tragic scream of a daughter for her mother. Did it reach Natsuhi's ears or not? Did we lose Natsuhi too? Natsuhi was alone in the entrance hall. It was the place where the portrait of Beatrice had been hung. Natsuhi threw down the final letter from Beatrice that she had read in the parlor, readied her rifle again, and in a voice that rang clear, yelled in a massive space that was the entrance hall.
後ろ宮家代表、後宮夏日です。姿を見せなさい、黄金の魔女、ベアトリーチェ。
The entrance hall was dimly lit. Other than a faint light which shone on the center of the room, everything was blotted out by the jet black darkness. Oh god, no. In that darkness, butterflies glittering in gold squirmed, twinkled, and sneered. Natsuhi gave one more huge gulp and pointed the cold barrel of the gun at the gold butterflies.
ようやく姿を現しましたね。あなたのような存在が本当に存在したなんて、私は未だ信じることができない。でも、それは問題ではありません。後宮家の代表であると自負する私と、後宮家の当主を引き継いだと自称するあなたが今この場にいる。あなたが本当に魔女なのかどうかは今となっては些細な問題です。さあ、決着をつけましょう。
You know, if Kanon couldn't handle her, I don't know if you stand a chance.
後宮家を真に引き継ぐ者はどちらか。この後宮夏日か、あなたベアトリーチェか。あなたの決闘の申し出、謹んでお引き受けさせていただきます。
The gold butterfly slowly formed a human shape which walked into the dim light. Natsuhi readied the rifle and glared. The witch raised her golden staff overhead and laughed. Natsuhi's finger slowly squeezed the trigger.
せーの
battler made an all-out dash to the door and rammed into it, crushing the candlestick which had been barring it, and making it impossible for a big gap to be opened in the door. He kept kicking the candlestick through the gap, and the door was finally released. At that time, they heard it. They clearly heard just once the crisp sound of gunfire.
Jessica ちゃん、一人で先走っちゃいけない。今のは銃声だぜ。夏代おばさんが撃ったんだ。
At who? At the culprit? The noise had come from the entrance hall, and the entrance hall looked like a stage, like the heroine of a tragedy lying down and bathed in light. Arrayed in the beauty of that silence, Aunt Natsu was face up, crumpled on the floor. Half crazed, Jessica ran up to Aunt Natsuhi. On her forehead, it was almost as though a sparkling shard of pigeon's blood ruby had been placed there. And, from it, a single stream of blood, makeup passed by her eye, and began to traverse her face. The faint smell of gunpowder smoke came from the barrel of the rifle Aunt Natsuhi still grasped. Huh? Then she shot herself? In the forehead? Why?
Wa けがわからない。どうしておばさんは一人で抜け出して、どうして自分の額を撃ち抜いているんだよ。マリアちゃん、夏日おばさんは手紙を読んでから部屋を出たんだよね。手紙がない。くそ、おばさんは何を読んで、どうしてここに誘い出されたんだ。
知らねえぜ、知らねえぜ。そんなことはどうでもいいぜ。なんなんだよ。どうして自殺なんだよ。
Nah, the magic of Beatrice forced her to turn the barrel of the gun toward her face. Sucks.
私を置いてくんだよ。
Jessica clung to her mother's corpse, crying earnestly. My body consumed by an anger I didn't know what to do with, I stole the rifle from Aunt Natsu's hand and spun around, pointing the barrel of the gun into the darkness on all sides as though I was pointing a light from a lighthouse, trying to find the culprit. George Aniki, even in this situation, was trying to calmly figure something out, but that effort might have been doomed to futility. And Maria alone was completely indifferent. Is she treating this as some kind of predetermined fate? No, that's not it. This is all a prelude to a wonderful world. The door to the Golden Land will finally open.
第9の晩に魔女は蘇り、誰も生き残れはしない。そして第10の晩に旅は終わり、黄金の里へ至るだろう。これで全部終わったね、ベアトリーチェ。おめでとう、おめでとう。だからマリアを導いて、あなたの話してくれた黄金鏡へ。今こそ。
There, all of the dead will be resurrected, and even the love they once possessed will be revived. So in Maria's eyes, it's just as though all of today's tragedies never even happened. And all those days she spent deprived of love never happened either.
いい加減にしやがれ。何が楽しい、何がおめでたい。この島には18人いた。14人死んだ。残りは俺たち4人だ。俺は絶対に死なねえぞ。夜が明けるまで、いや、台風が過ぎ去って、また船着き場に海猫たちが帰ってくるまで、俺は絶対に死なねえんだよ。生き残ってやる、生き残ってやる、絶対。
よしなよ、バトラー。ベアトリーチェに銃なんて意味ないよ。それに、生き残るも何も、もうおしまいなんだよ。もう、旅は終わったんだよ。
Huh? The clock. Hearing those words, I looked at my wristwatch, both hands almost touching near the top. Very soon it would be 12 a.m. In other words, 24. When you think about it, isn't 24 o'clock a strange time? It can be called 24 o'clock, it can also be called 0 o'clock. It's the hour at the culmination of the previous day, and at the same time, it is the hour 0 as the next day begins. Maria suddenly called out happily and ran towards the darkness. It was almost as though Beatrice was somewhere in that darkness and Maria was running up to her. As I looked down the barrel of the rifle, as Jessica hugged her mother's corpse, as George Aniki stood there shocked, we gazed into the darkness. Our eyes fixed just in front of Beatrice's portrait, and there, Maria leapt into a hug, with the portrait's subject. You've got to be kidding me. This is ridiculous. Impossible. This madness can't possibly be. Witches don't exist. I won't accept it. Things like you must not exist because this is a human world. You think I could accept something that's not human? Never. I will never. I pulled hard on the rifle's lever. The cartridge was ejected, fell on the floor, and a new cartridge was loaded. Then, I sighted the witch down the barrel. Maria turned around. Still clinging to the golden witch, she turned around.
だから意味なんてないってば。ベアトリーチェに鉛玉なんて意味ないってば。バカだね、人間は。
俺は魔女なんて認めねえぞ。貴様は誰だ。一歩でも動いてみろ。指一本でも動かしてみろ。こいつをぶち込んでやる。
I wonder if Beatrice corrupted Maria. The laughter of the witch, no, the witches, was joined by the laughter of even the large clock in the hall. It was probably telling us that the time was 12 o'clock. It was both a tone telling us that we had reached the culmination of this day, and a tone informing us that all had returned to nothing. The rules had specified that the witch would win when time ran
バ
out.
トラ、ジョージお兄ちゃんに、ジェシカお姉ちゃん、旅は終わって、魔女は蘇ったよ。
And none shall be left alive. The witch shall praise the wise and bestow 4 treasures. One shall be all the golden land's gold. One resurrects all the dead people's souls. One even revives all the love they possessed. And one for the witch to eternally rest. Rest in peace, my beloved witch, Beatrice. The midnight hour. The storm passed and the leaden clouds that had enshrouded the island for so long began to clear away. Sunbeams shone from the rifts between the clouds. Yesterday's storm seemed like a lie. Just as someone had wished, the seagulls returned to the harbor once again and let their lively cries be heard. Afterwards, the police arrived and conducted an investigation of the scene. The corpses of the children who are believed to have survived until the very end were never found. However, from the body parts that were discovered and the unimaginably gruesome nature of the scene, the police were forced to conclude that the chances of survival for any of the 18, including the children, were hopelessly dim. Oh, I have to read that fast. Just how gruesome was the banquet of the witch, and how beautiful was the golden land. Those tales are for them alone to tell amongst themselves. They have no tale for those who arrive after the banquet had ended. One can only but imagine what transpired during the course of those 2 days. However, the witch was fickle. She made a point of leaving behind the tale which had no need to be told and permitted to spread. A few years later, a strange wine bottle drifting on the waves in the quayside of the neighboring island was recovered by a fisherman. Stuffed inside were tightly rolled notebook pages crammed full to the edges with minuscule writing. Written there was the tale I would be doing. I can't read this fast. This incident would later be referred to as the Rokenjima mass murders, the 18 killings of Rokenjima, but the tell oh god. Alright guys, you're just gonna have to pause this, right? While the notebook pages tell of this mysterious incident, they do not tell the truth behind it. In fact, perhaps not even the writer of the notebook knew the truth. Perhaps she may have desired to know. According to the writer's signature, her name was Ushiromia Maria. Furthermore, as a result of an all-out police search, part of Maria's body has been discovered, a piece of her jaw. It was one of rare instances where the owner of the body part because the jaw had been separated from its body, the police consider her chances of survival to be hopelessly dim, even though no other parts were found or identified. Let's conclude this tale with the final paragraph of the notebook pages of the Ushiromia Maria left behind. By the time you read this, I'll probably be dead. Although there may or may not be a corpse, you who have read this, please uncover the truth. That is my only wish. To this very day, the truth of the Witch Legend serial murder case has not been brought to light. First game, Legend of the Golden Witch result. Well, obviously it's the only result. You can't do much of anything. I couldn't read all that, man. Even at a slow pace, he was going fast. Kumasawa died on the 8th twilight, yep. Okay, what about revived in the 9th? Natsuhi died on the 9th twilight. The witch praised her nobility and granted her honor of a duel. George, missing on the 10th twilight, accepted the witch, prostrated himself, and he accepted. Jessica, missing, accepted the witch. Maria, accepted, obviously. Battler, missing on the 10th. He denies things. Will she invite him to the Golden Land? The witch shall praise the wise and grant 4 treasures in the Golden Land. Because they... For George, his lost fiancé. For Jessica, her lost loved one. For Maria, the lost love of her mother. Rest in peace, Beatrice. May her slumber never be disturbed again. The winner is the Golden All 18 died. When the seagulls cried, none were left alive. Guys, and this is only episode 1. Rondo of the Witch and Reasoning. A new trophy is available. Character Hunters. New elements added. The Golden Witch has prepared a gift in commemoration of your recent sojourn. The new elements may be accessed from the title screen. Accessed. So, can I access what the hell? Tea party. Picture box. Music box. The Golden Witch has gifted you with a picture box. I hope that you will stop by and view as memento of your sojourn on Wakenjima. Tea party. Please pull up a seat and wind down. Was your sojourn on Wakenjima a pleasant one? The Golden Witch has gifted you with an invitation to her tea party. Hope that you will participate. Remove the lock on this episode. If you do not progress through the episodes in the right order, you will probably be confused and lose interest. We strongly recommend that only those who have played the previous episode use this feature. Oh, we could always unlock it. I thought it unlocks automatically. Interesting. What's tea party? I don't know the proper order I should be doing this in. Like, should I do the tea party now? Or should I go to episode 2? No, hold on, guys. I'll pause this for a minute. Okay, guys, after doing some quick research, I found out I do have to do the tea party first because it's part of an episode thing that continues on, and then after I do tea party, I move on to episode 2. So, here we go.
おーみんな海猫の鳴く頃にお疲れさんやれやれわけがわかんないうちに物語が終わっちまったな
つまりなんだあれは結局犯人は暴けず時間切れのバッドエンドでしたってことなのか
きっとバッドエンド。
そうだね。1日目の夜にマリアちゃんが読んだベアトリーチェの手紙に、碑文の謎を解いてみろとちゃんと予告してたもんね。僕たちは自衛や犯人を探るのに忙しくて、全然その謎に挑まなかったし。
そうですね。ちゃんと碑文の謎に挑んでいたら、違う結末もあったのでしょうか。
それはどうかな。シャノンちゃんもお疲れ。お茶の給仕なんてしなくていいぜ。何しろここは、お疲れ様会なんだからよ。ひでえ目にあった者同士、仲良く傷の舐め合いをしようぜ。ベロベロベロ。
ひでえ目って言ったら、シャノンがぶっちぎりだったぜ。綺麗どころのキャラだから、てっきり最後まで生き残るかと思ったら、一番最初に殺されるし、しかも、なんだっけ？顔面を半分砕かれてたんだっけ？最悪だよな。
そういうお役目でしたら、仕方ありませんし。
姉さんが気にすることはないよ。お嬢様方も、ラストのエピローグを見る限り、相当悲惨な最後を遂げられたようだしね。
Ah, so this is what they meant when they said purgatory. So they're forever looped in this little mansion for tea parties. Or the only means to exist in this, I guess this semi-dimensional plane where their spirits will reside.
どうもそうみたいだね。なんだか全身を食いちぎられてバラバラにされたみたいな恐ろしい描写があったような気がするよ。
それを言ったら、カノン君の最後が一番かっこよかったと思うぜ。返り討ちとはいえ、犯人と一騎打ちだろ？俺らのよくわからん最後よりは、数段マシだぜ。
結局、何も歯が立ちませんでしたが。
でも、カナン君の死は大きなヒントになったと思うな。だって、あのせいで19人目の存在が明らかになったんだから。
そうだね。あの時点では全員の所在が明らかだった。だからカノン君を殺せるのは未知の19人目しかありえない。
マリアは最初からベアトリーチェだってずっと言ってる。
信じたくはねえけど、ベアトリーチェを名乗る魔女が犯人ってことになるんだろうぜ。
そうですよね。人にはできない不思議なことがいっぱいありましたし。エバおばさんの密室殺人とか魔女にしかできない。人間にはできない。
19人目が存在することが明らかで、しかもその人物は人間では考えられない力を持っている。
となれば、その人物をベアトリーチェと呼んでも差し支えはねえだろうぜ。
多分僕たちはラストで出会っているよ。黄金の魔女にね。
だからマリアはベアトリーチェがいるってずっと言ってる。みんなずっと信じなかったからダメだった。信じないと奇跡は起きないって友達の魔女も言ってる。そうですね。ベアトリーチェ様は敬う者に寛大だそうですし。
マリア様は恐ろしい事件が次々と起こっていっても、最後までベアトリーチェ様の脅威からは外されていたように思います。
マリアは一番の最初からベアトリーチェを信じてたもんな。でもそれじゃあ、同じように信じてたカノン君たちも殺されたのは納得がいかないぜ。
それは多分、ベアトリーチェ様なりのご都合があられたのでしょう。
碑文の歌がベアトリーチェ様の復活の儀式を意味するものなら、大勢の生贄が必要だった。その一人にご指名をいただけたということなのでしょう。
シャノンちゃんはひどい最後だったよ。せめてもう少し綺麗で安らかな方法もあったろうに。
まあ、痛かったわけじゃないですし。それに、ほら、今はこうして全然平気ですから、へっちゃ。
Shannon proved this by stroking her cheek, which had been crushed during the story, and everyone laughed out loud, smiling.
でも、こう言っちゃなんだけど、僕はてっきり本格ミステリーだと思ってたからね。ファンタジーだと分かって、ちょっと驚いてるよ。
Oh, not me. I knew it was gonna be in the horror genre from the get-go. I was just waiting for it.
遺産をめぐる外界から隔絶された孤島の洋館ものなんて、推理物の王道だと思ってたからさ。
ファンタジーじゃない。ベアトリーチェはいるの。
ええ、ベアトリーチェ様は。
そうですね。ベアトリーチェ様はいらっしゃいます。
悔しいが、認めざるを得ねえよな。19人目の魔女の関与は明らかだしな。
人間には不可能なことをいくつもやってのけてる。劇中の僕らは、それを否定したくて、あれこれと考えたけれども、今なら、はっきり言えるよ。どれもいずれも、すべて、人間には不可能な犯罪だった。魔法の力を使いこなす、魔女のベアトリーチェにしか成し得ない犯行だよ。
犯人は魔女だった。その一点において、何の曇りもねえぜ。ベアトリーチェ様万歳ってわけだ。
みんな信じた。マリアは嬉しい。神様も魔女も怖がる人には恐ろしい存在かもしれませんけど、信じ敬う人にとってはきっと慈しみのある存在に違いないと思います。
姉さんの言う通りだと思います。
じゃあさ、せっかく殺人事件ごっこは終わったわけだし、ここで気を取り直して、ちゃんとベアトリーチェの言う通り、碑文の謎に挑戦してみねえか？
賛成。きっとベアトリーチェも喜ぶ。
劇中ではみんな無視してたからね、あの手紙は。
せっかく出題されたのにほとんど無視されて、なんだかかわいそうですね、ベアトリーチェ様。碑文のメモがある。みんなで謎解き、みんなで謎解き。
物語は多分、この時点から間違ってたんだろうね。
そうかもしれません。私たちはベアトリーチェ様のご指示通り、碑文の謎に挑むべきだったのかもしれません。
まあ、すっかり遅くなっちまったけどな。今からでも再挑戦するってことで、魔女様には許してもらおうぜ。さ、碑文の謎に挑戦してみよう。なに懐かしき故郷を貫く鮎の川。
As Maria put her notebook on the table and opened to the page where the epitaph was written, everyone peered closely at it and had fun and lively discussion as they started guessing this and that about the riddle. Surrounded by the smell of the black tea and the freshly baked vanilla cookies, they spent the time comfortably and happily.
ちょいと待てよ、お前ら。
Battler said in a tone that ruined the mood. His expression looked a little unhappy. What could he not like about all of this fun?
お前ら、さっきから聞いてりゃ、何を思考停止してんだ？なんで魔女の仕業ってことで決まってんだよ。そんなのあるわけねえじゃねえかよ。
With just those words, the happy atmosphere of the tea party disappeared in no time at all. George and Jessica, and Shannon, and Canon, and Maria, all of them stared blankly, wondering why Battler was saying such weird things. Even the foolish and arrogant Battler noticed he had said the wrong thing.
だって、明らかに人間には無理な事件だったじゃないか。
そうだぜ。どの事件も人間には無理なことばかり。
そうですよね。だって人間じゃ説明がつかないことばかりじゃないですか。
バトラ様が何を言い出すのか僕にはわかりません。
お前たちこそ、何を口々に言い出すのかさっぱりだぜ。こんなの人間が起こした事件に決まってるじゃねえかよ。魔女なんているわけねえだろ？
じゃあ、私が倉庫の中で殺されてた時、顔の半分をひどいことにされていましたが、あれは人間が犯人なら、どう再現するというのですか？
そりゃ、 どうやったらあんなひでえことができるのか、ちょっと想像はつかねえけどよ。でも、あそこはバラ庭園の倉庫だぜ。きっと、中に妙な道具とかがいくらでもあっただろう。わかんねえけどよ。例えば、電の子とかグラインダーとか、そんな電動工具でも使ったのかもしれねえじゃないか。
それは、
じゃあ、バトラー。じいさまが密室の書斎から消え去っていたのは、どう説明するんだよ。扉は封印されていたのに、じいさまは忽然と消え去ってたぜ。
その話は、劇中でも出ただろう。じいさまが何らかの方法を使えば、レシートをごまかすことは不可能じゃない。あるいは窓から出て、あるいは落ちて。夏日おばさんが窓を内側から施錠した可能性もある。別に、魔法を使わなくたって、他にもいくつか手は思いつくだろうぜ。
Alright guys, I'm gonna end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching. We finally gotten through the first episode of Umineko, and it was essentially a bad end. Only because we couldn't follow through and solve the epitaph. But it's not like they gave me much choice. Unlike most visual novels, they give you choices. But it looks like in this part you were meant to just see it, everything play out first, and then finally go through like what we're going through right now, the tea party, and eventually I assume they're gonna start giving us choices to choose from to like any other, like the standard visual novels, to see if we can make it through and resolve this whole thing. Or it's gonna be like all the other, it's gonna be like episode 1 and episode 2 to 8 are gonna watch us. It's gonna play out each episode the way it should be played out. And each episode is going to have a different ending until we get to that main ending, the good one, possibly. So, we're going to continue on the next one, guys. Thank you all for watching.